TikTok is up in the air once again. This Saturday, the popular app faces yet another ban if it doesn't land an American investor. President Trump gave TikTok a 70-day deadline when he took office. On Wednesday, he took a meeting with aides to discuss possible investors. Amazon is among many companies vying for a chance at ownership. China would still need to sign off on any deal, but has already said it would block it. Joining us now is Michelle Castillo, tech journalist, and we welcome you. Michelle, thanks for being with us. So what are the odds of TikTok being banned on Saturday, or do you think another extension is in the offing?
I definitely think we're going to see another extension. It doesn't seem that the Trump administration really wants to take action against banning TikTok at this time. J.D. Vance, who is responsible for kind of leading this deal to fruition, has said that he is confident that something will be announced by Saturday. And we are also seeing reports in the media saying that Trump has indicated that he will, at the very least, not enforce a ban. What that might look like is he will instruct the Department of Justice not to take action against Google or the Apple stores if they continue to support and allow people to download the TikTok app. So I think we're still going to see an extension at this time, especially because we have so many players willing to make investments at this time, or at least voicing their opinion that they want to invest in TikTok.
I mean, a lot of the big money companies, you've got Amazon, you've got Oracle, they're all kind of throwing their hat in the ring here. But essentially, ByteDance is, I mean, they're not dumb. They're not interested in giving up total control of both the algorithm or the app because it's making billions of dollars for them. So, I mean, we keep moving the goalposts here. What can really be done? No one wants to shut it down, first and foremost, especially the administration.
I think what we're going to probably see is TikTok being spun off into a separate company where will still retain some Chinese ownership. They don't want to get rid of that valuable algorithm. And a lot of American companies are open to the idea of TikTok and ByteDance still owning that algorithm. You might just see more American investors in this separate company outside of ByteDance in this new partnership structure. And I think that's what we're waiting to hear about. Also, what we do want to hear from the American investors is they are saying that they want some reassurances that if they do invest, if they do put this money in, that they're not going to be retaliated against or face other legal repercussions in the future, since this TikTok deal has been a back and forth through several administrations at this point.
Michelle, correct me if I'm wrong here, but as long as the algorithm remains in China with Chinese ownership, it doesn't matter really who owns it. As long as the algorithm is still there, the problem that, national security advisors have here in this country, that problem still exists.
Well, there might be some ways around it, especially if there are American ownership players at stake. For example, making sure that all the American data stays on American soil with American protections. TikTok has said they've already done this, but having more American ownership in a spun-off TikTok company on American soil would probably at least alleviate some of the concerns that American lawmakers are facing.
All right. So President Trump proposed giving China relief on tariffs if its government does approve a deal. We say to ourselves, would that potentially entice China to agree to a deal? But now what we're seeing overnight, as far as these reciprocal tariffs that China is now levying on the United States and our market in a free fall this morning, I mean, how much do we think that this is a potential possibility? It seems as though the leverage card is being played on both sides and no one's biting.
I have to agree with you on that. Now that we see the 34% tariffs being announced on the Chinese side, in addition to 11 American companies added to the no work that will not be allowed to work with the Chinese government, there's less of a bargaining chip just to keep TikTok on U.S. soil. That being said, TikTok has a lot of value in the advertising market and can potentially be a big moneymaker for Chinese companies. So that they may be willing to negotiate a little bit, but I don't think it's as strong of a bargaining chip as the Trump administration might think.
So essentially, Saturday's going to come, and we're probably, I think most experts, including yourself, think an extension is on the way because there's really no solution at hand right now.
Definitely agree. I think at the very least, we're going to see the Trump administration announce that they're not going to take action against any American company that supplies the app, which is mostly Google and Apple and their stores at this time.
All right, Michelle Castillo, thank you very much. Good to talk with you. We'll see what happens. All right, we'll continue to follow the very latest on this story as tomorrow's deadline fast approaches. Follow along on CBSNewYork.com.